And welcome everyone to the first in a series of quick tutorials from your friends at WGCU, Southwest Florida's public media station. We're so glad you've joined us today, and we are hoping to demonstrate some of the videos, lessons, and interactives that we have available right now for free for you for all the teachers in Southwest Florida. And just first, I just want to get this out there. You all are rock stars. I think Fred Rogers says it best, and you've probably seen this quote before, but he said, when I was a little boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You'll always find people who are helping. And I think it's important for us at WGCU to pause and realize that you teachers are the helpers at this moment. You are doing an amazing job. You're helping the children of Southwest Florida as they navigate online learning and dealing with all these changes. You're helping the parents connect with their child, and sometimes it can be crazy, but we're doing our best. And then you're helping heal our community. You're providing that stability, that friendly face that kids so yearn for during times like these. So first and foremost, thank you for all you're doing. And we know it isn't easy. We understand that there's a lot of content being thrown at educators right now. There's a lot of, look at this, join this, try this, which can be helpful, but it can also be overwhelming. And so that's why we decided to do these quick, short tutorials for you. They are to the point, short, and they're all about PBS LearningMedia, which is free. So thank you once again. In addition to today, we're going to have one for next Thursday and a series every Thursday at 4 p.m. So if you enjoy it, come back. We're going to dive deeper into the content, share with your colleagues, but we'd love to have them each week. So let me just introduce myself. That's me. Hi, I'm Stephanie Murray. I am an adjunct professor of educational technology at 2 universities, and I help teachers K through 12 understand how they can use different tech in their classroom. And now more than ever, I find that the people I'm working with need this stuff or practicing this stuff. They're living it. So it's really exciting time. In addition to that, I also work with WGCU to bring our amazing suite of free resources to the educators in Southwest Florida, to you guys. And this originally started as an in-person workshop. I've probably spoken to some of your district leads or your supervisors. And because of what's happened, we've switched to a virtual platform. So I'm so glad we can tackle a lot of schools, a lot of districts all at once through this series. In addition to that, I'm a mom. I've got 2 little kids. They're not here, thankfully. Baby's crashing the screen. But I'm right there with you trying to figure out how to get this done, how to handle those Zoom sessions with teachers, how to, navigate it all. So we're all on the front lines, and I'm so glad that you're joining us and taking the time. We want this tutorial to be as interactive as possible. So to that end, please feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions, or throw some ideas out to the group. You can also utilize the chat feature. I'm going to try to monitor that as much as possible throughout our session today, but feel free. We'd love to hear from you. So WGCU is a nonprofit, which means we serve our community, you guys. And sometimes the best thing you can do to help is first to listen. And so we would love it if you would chat, just kind of tell us who you are, what school you're coming from, what subject you teach, maybe some awesome things that you've tried out over the last few weeks or some challenges you've had. And then based off that feedback in the chat section, we can shout out to your district or your school. Well done. And then we can also reach out individually if you have specific questions about any of the content or any areas that we can reach at. So again, please, we want this to be open-ended and kind of start the conversation. So feel free if anyone wants to unmute yourself now and just kind of introduce yourself, go for it. You can turn your cameras on if you want, but otherwise definitely introduce yourself in the chat section. Any questions so far? Oh, I see Diane. Hi, Diane from Spring Creek Elementary in Bonita. 3rd grade.
Yes, from Florida. I don't know where everybody else is from.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm so delighted that you have these series of training sessions because I just started using it, and I pretty much well, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Good,
but there's just so much so I'm kind of excited because I've got a few questions, and I'm sure it'll be answered within the next 4 or 5 sessions, but I was so excited, and you have so many wonderful resources.
Well, thank you so much, Diane. What a great way to kick off. And you're right. That's why we kind of broke it down. We understand people don't have 2 hours of a time. So we're chunking them into, these 20-minute sessions, which hopefully you can kind of tune in and out of. And we can bundle all this up and share it with your colleagues, and you can refer back to it as we go. But I see everyone trickling. Hi, Susan. Hi, Evie. Hi, Liz. I'm loving this, and I'm going to keep monitoring the chat conversation, but I do want to make sure we have time to dive in and kind of kick off our session. So feel free as you go, ask those questions, and like I said, I'm going to do my best to monitor. So hopefully you know PBS, right? We know all the different things about PBS LearningMedia, and you might know our shows, but a lot of people don't necessarily know that we have stuff that lives well beyond the television network. We have what's called PBS LearningMedia. Today's session is going to be an overview of that and what that is. It has thousands of supplemental digital resources aligned with national and state standards. And these are created for teachers, by teachers, educational. Sometimes we think of media, we think of, let's send kids a YouTube. It's the wild, wild west, right? There's not much regulation. The nice thing about this site is that it is all curated, it's all educational based, and just like the PBS brand, it is trusted and it is safe for kids to use. So just to give you kind of an overview, today on our session, we're going to be doing the first few things, saving and organizing resources. We're going to look at those state standards. We're going to manage all of our favorites and how we can sync it to other sites like Google Classroom. Our next session, if you join us next week, we'll be looking at creating lessons and puzzles and then quizzes. And then our final session, we'll kind of customize things and look at special needs resources and kind of answering any questions you might have along the way. I see, hi, Mary. I'm just making sure I'm chatting. So I thought what we can do now is just kind of dive in, provide that walkthrough. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to get us to the website of PBS LearningMedia. Okay, so at this point, and I'm looking at it, I think you can see my screen, which is great. This is what you're going to walk into. You're welcome to kind of play along with your browser, but I'm going to walk you through this. And I'm doing this as if you are a first-time user. So what we have here on the right-hand side would be a sign in or sign up. I'm just going to demonstrate how to sign up. I'm going to click that up in the right-hand side, and it'll take you. You have a few options. You can log in through Google, through Facebook, or through email. I'm just going to show you because I want to stress, oops, let's see, I'm going to log out. Oh, yeah. Okay, I just wanted to stress to you the importance. This is it. When you sign in, it's just your first name, last name, email, password, and your zip code. They're not asking for, a free trial. There's no credit card needed. This is always free, always available to you. And the reason it asks for your school zip code, and we'll dive into this later, is because it's going to tailor all the content you see based on where you're located. So once you enter a Florida zip code, the moment you pull up a video or a lesson, all of the standards that are attached to that will become customized and show up as Florida. So that's really kind of the nice feature about this. Again, very easy to use. I'm just going to sign in here as if I've created an account. It looks very much similar, otherwise it has my name. I'll walk you through this. So you can see it's pretty easy to navigate, kind of colorful, a lot to look at. You see those key buzzwords, those different subjects, those news and events. And I want us to kind of look at this. I'll walk you through it. The subjects. This is kind of a nice page because it shows you everything's on here. If you are a teacher, I know we have elementary, preschool, various subjects I saw from our registration list. It's on here for you. So it ranges. You can see primary, secondary, all the way up to PD sessions as well. So one way you can do it is just simply through subjects. The next thing is through standards. Let's say you have a specific standard you want to look at and you want to find some material that might be useful. You can come down and hit state standards maybe. I'm going to hit Florida. It already knows I'm from Florida. And let's say the Sunshine State Standards. And look at that, automatically pulls up things that might be useful. The moment I click on it, it's going to walk me through the different resources that are specific to that line in the curriculum, which is kind of exciting. It might not be the easiest way to search, but it is a nice feature. So I'm going to head back to the home screen. All well and done, but if you're like me, you know exactly what you're looking for, right? You have a lesson that you want to enhance, you have something that you want to show the kids, you already know what you're looking for. So I'm going to search like you would any other search engine. Maybe we just had Earth Day, so let's try Earth Day and see what we get. 5,000 results. Woo! Look at that. That's like when you go shopping online and you're looking for a rug and you get 10,000. How can we dwindle that down? The website does it for you. We have it by grade and by subject. I'm going to pick one out. Let's see. I'm just going to look at my chat section. Let's see, Diane, you said you were a third grade teacher, so let's search third grade. Okay, we've narrowed it down to 1,000, you know. Nothing else to do on our weekends. And let's see, maybe we'll do, it's related to science. Again, we're kind of keep going. Now we're down to 700. Earth and space science, 600. And you can see the more you dig in, the lower the filter is going to go and you're going to be able to look at something. And this is what we're talking about. These are those resources. There's hundreds of thousands of things at your fingertips. I'm just going to click one. So you can kind of get an idea of what this would be. All right, so this says observe sunrise. This is great. I think this is wonderful. And I'm going to use this for my classroom. So what would I do? The nice thing is that we've already kind of looked at this. Okay, I don't think you can hear this, but you'll just be able to see, you know, the content's going. This video is about a minute in length. I don't know, this might not be exactly what I need for my class. So let me go back. I saw one here. So these are kind of highlighted resources based on the time. Oh yeah, here's my Earth Day stuff. What if I click environmental? Perfect. I'm a teacher and this is exactly what I'm looking for. I want us to show you a couple of things. In addition to the video, which this one is 2 minutes and 43 seconds, which is kind of a sweet spot. There's some support materials underneath. So most of the content, you're not just throwing a video and says, good luck. What the educators who have created this have done is kind of take that hard work for you, and they've created things that go along with it. So we have, in this case, a background, which is kind of like an essay. There's activities you can do, some discussion questions to guide the viewing, and then all these supplemental, this looks like a primary source document. So you can see it's not just a video like you would find on YouTube, it's like a whole suite. Going back to those standards, I'm also looking at them and saying, okay, how does this fit within my larger scope of what I need to do? Okay, I can see the Florida standards are here, along with national standards. One other thing I want to highlight, and it doesn't necessarily relate to remote learning, but especially when you're in the classroom, is that download feature. A lot of the content on here, the videos, are downloadable. So we understand some districts might have, you know, not the capability for streaming. The nice thing is a lot of it you can download ahead of time and have it on a disk or on your computer. So I'm going to say, pretend I'm a teacher, and yeah, this looks great. I like it. There's also some suggested things here on the right that might work well for me in my classroom. I'm going to go over here. Because I'm logged in, if you're like me, I enjoy Pinterest. I find that I'm sometimes browsing the internet and I'm looking at all these things, and my bookmark section's so overwhelming. I forget where I was, I forget what I had. the nice thing is PBS Learning Media does that for you. There's a favorites thing. So if you can see on the left-hand side, there's different options. I just clicked a favorite, so I'm not going to lose this. And I want us to show you where this sent it to. Over here on my account, I have a dashboard. It has now saved that video because I liked it. I favored it. So I can always go back, reference where it was. I'm not going to kind of forget that I had it. It's simple, one click, I know where it is. You can also kind of organize these more in depth. There's a folders option. So let's get even more organized, right? I can simply add a new folder. I'm going to call this Earth Day for my 5th grade. And voila, I have a new folder. If I go back into my favorites, oh, I think I spelled Earth Day wrong, didn't I? Oops. Here's my video. I'm going to click it, add to folder, and I'm going to save it to EarthDat, which should be Earth Day. Save it. So you can see all these folders drop down. You're able to find it easier. I also want to point out the shareable ways that this is good for you. We have classes, and this is kind of a teaser of what we'll look at next week. You can create a class on here. Easy to do. You enter a class name, you enter, the teacher, and it will send you an invite code. You can mail that out to your kids, mail it out to their parents, especially now, and say, this is what we're working on. You can also import it to Google Classroom. So this is easy to sync up to Google Class, and you can import it and kind of share the resources on there. I want to take you real quick over to the student side. The students have their own user face. They would enter that code right here up on the right that you provided for them, and automatically see things that you are sending over to them. Like I mentioned, next week we're going to be going over projects and assignments, and that's where this would show up. So you have the ability to create a whole lesson for them, a whole quiz for them. I'm going to return to the teacher view. Based off that one video, so you can kind of share it easily for them. Okay, I did want to highlight real quick, because we are in such an emergency situation, PBS Learning Media has already curated things that might be helpful for you during the school closures. So this it was right on the front bar. You can search it, related by grade, and it kind of goes through materials of how you can help parents, how you can help your district, etc. But I did want to highlight that for you. Are there any questions so far? If you can just type them in the chat. I want to make sure I'm fielding that for you. But, like I said, it's a teaser for next week. I encourage you over this week to kind of search around all these videos that are available for you, and then your dashboard, including your favorites. Next week, we'll be going over Lesson Builder. Real simple to do. Like I said, you can hook it up with Google Class or send it directly to the kids and their parents while we're learning remotely. There's also a quiz maker, which will follow the next session, and then looking at more features. Like I said, feel free to type in that the questions in the chat window. I did want to point out a few things that are coming up for you. So in addition to this, we have PD. That was one of them coming up is integrating technology with Molly. I want to highlight this for you. This is tonight at 7. Join us. You can make it like a happy hour for yourselves. Molly loves technology, and this is kind of a nice session for educators. They can look at it and figure out how they can use it and, talk to people. We also have one coming up with Stanley Nelson, the award-winning director. He'll be looking at the ethics behind big picture problems with learners. It's an interactive session, so I encourage you to kind of check back. I can send those dates for you, and that's coming up in a few weeks as well. I don't see any questions so far in our chat. Like I said, over the next week, I know we're almost at our time. Over the next week, give this a search, try it out, see if you can find some videos. I'm just gonna keep clicking. if there's videos, there's interactives, there's, you know, a lot on here. It's a lot to digest, and hopefully from today, just to kind of summarize what we're able to do, you're able to create an account for free. You're able to favorite things and organize all of your favorites into your dashboard. You're able to search either by standards, by subject, by grade, and then you're able to filter all of those search results. So those were our main tackling points for today. As a teaser for next week, please share with your colleagues. Like I mentioned, we're going to be diving in, now that we know this site, how can we use it and implement it more with quizzes and lesson builder. Any final thoughts or questions before we sign off? I know this, like I said, was quick. It's a 20-minute to the point tutorial, and hopefully you can go about your day. No, great. Okay, so we'll be sharing this. We'll follow up with some more emails. Like I said, the link will be the same. Share with your colleagues. Want to say thank you so much for joining us for this quick tutorial, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Please feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have between now and then. And I do want to refer you back, always go to WGCU.org to find out more.